I sometimes will get so hard on myself about things, but I remind myself that there are so many successful people out there that are also having those hard days in between, or those days that you have to force yourself to show up. I have two constant things that I always pay attention to throughout my life and throughout my day to make things just a little bit more easy for me to show up and to fake it till I make it. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Curated Collective Co podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm so excited to talk with you guys today about everything I'm doing this month to take care of myself and my business. I don't know why November turned into this month where I'm just doing so many things to have long-term success and also long-term health, and I'm making those choices this month. For some reason, it just happened that way, but I really wanted to share with you guys what it is that I'm doing to take care of myself and my business and the steps that I'm taking to enter into a new year feeling more relaxed. My goal is to be able to have my business kind of working with me and for me. I don't want to feel like I'm constantly chasing the next task and the next task and the next task, because it just gets exhausting. And I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I have been feeling very depleted, and I feel like I've been just working nonstop for weeks on end, that it's really crazy to think that we're already almost at the new year. I feel like when you just love what you're doing and you're working so hard and you don't really look up from that, it's crazy to see how much time has passed. But I am super proud and so happy with how this year has gone. I feel like that's just something that I will be able to look back on, is all the work I've put in. However, I want to enter into this new year not having to work so hard. And I feel very fortunate that I'm able to work from home. I'm able to take a little breaks in between. However, I just love what I'm doing so much that I never want to stop. And sometimes that can be a little bit of a dangerous road to go down, because I still have to make time for the other things in my life that I don't want to forget about, such as health and such as friendships and all the things in our lives that really make it meaningful. Business is just one part of it. And I do love my business and I love my community. I love all the things that I have been able to create, and I cherish it so much. But I also understand the importance of having that actual freedom in your life and the freedom in your day to enjoy the hard work that you've done. So that's a big thing that I want to share with you guys in this episode, are the things that I'm doing to set myself up for having more freedom and being able to kind of step back some days and just go hang out with friends and do the things that I really love to do and that fill my cup up, and that also teach me a lot, because I feel like I've been just on this treadmill for weeks and weeks of just working so hard, to the point where I don't have as much time lately to go learn new things and expand my knowledge and all that. And that's also something that means so much to me. So that's something that I really want to implement. However, before I get into this episode, I want to just share with you guys that everything we see on Instagram is a highlight reel. We all hear that all the time. However, even the most successful people you see, or the people who are just killing it, their house is perfect, maybe they just are living your dream life and it looks like they don't have to work that hard. You're just seeing these people online all the time and you want that so bad. I'm here to tell you that a lot of the times those people are definitely not perfect behind the scenes. They might be in sweats all day. They might be not feeling that good, but they might have content that they're just ready to post, or they have obligations to show up. So I want to say this because I feel that this year in particular has been really hard for me, because I love Instagram, because I love to curate beautiful photos and videos. And I have a passion for video editing and making it look really nice and perfect. But there are days that I've posted things where I am just kind of sad. And sometimes I have no real reason to be sad, but I'll just have a day where I'm a little bit down, or a day where I'm not motivated at all, or a day where I'm in sweats all day long, no makeup, haven't done my hair. And those days happen pretty often. And a lot of times they're not filmed or photographed or, posted online everywhere. And I love the accounts that are able to show both sides of that. But it's something that I want to be better at showing. And I think that's why I love YouTube so much, is because I'm able to take you guys with me through the day, and you're able to see that I don't have everything perfect. I'm still just trying to figure it out. And at the end of the day, even the most successful people are still trying to figure it out. So I wanted to share that because there are days where I am just so unmotivated, or there's days where I am just so down on myself, or there's days where I let the imposter syndrome take over. There's days where I'm just in my head about maybe like friends or the past or things like that. And I also struggle with anxiety. So sometimes I focus so much on the past and so much on the future that it sometimes just like overcomes me during the day, and it's really hard to work. And I want to share that because I know that we see all these things online and there are days that are just so beautiful. However, in the midst of all those days, that might be a little bit of a struggle, or I might really just have to force myself to show up. There are days where it's amazing and where I'm able to work morning till night and I'm so productive, and maybe I got to the gym early and I just had like the best sleep ever and I'm having such a good day. There are days like that too, and I take full advantage of those days to get a lot done and to be my best self. So I share that because we're all so hard on ourselves. I talk about this a lot, but I just think we're all so hard on ourselves, me included. I sometimes will get so hard on myself about things, but I remind myself that there are so many successful people out there that are also having those hard days in between, or those days that you have to force yourself to show up. Now, even though I have like those days that are a bit of a struggle and I have to just fake it till I make it, and also those days that are amazing and so great, I have two constant things that I always pay attention to throughout my life and throughout my day to make things just a little bit more easy for me to show up and to fake it till I make it. And those two things and those two constant things that I always have to remind myself is gratitude. I had written down positivity, but I mean, I'm just being so real with you guys. Some days it is hard to be super positive, but I feel like gratitude and that positivity type of mindset and bringing myself back to that is something I always try to do almost every day. Like if I'm having a moment where I'm just in my head, I always remind myself just how grateful I am and how lucky I feel. And that just kind of lifts me up into a more positive mood. So that's one constant I always try to take with me. And I also am a big believer in like, your energy that you give off can change other people's energy. So I feel sometimes like if I'm down or sad, when my fiance comes home from work, he's probably going to feel that for me and with me. So I try to just be as positive as I can be while still being real. But I do feel that like if you have a positive energy and if you show up online and you share that, then it's really contagious. And I just love that. So that is something I always try to remind myself of. But the second constant thing that I always prioritize and put first is my health and taking care of myself. I love self-care type of health. And like I was telling someone the other day, if I could spend my money, like my guilty pleasure of spending money is spending money on like self-care things, whether that's like a facial, a massage, like any sort of like skincare item, healthy food. Like I just love it. So that is a huge passion of mine. But I also am so realistic with myself where I'm like, if I forget to take care of my health, then like nothing matters. And that is something I always come back to as well. Like my business, all the things I have going on right now in my life are very important. But if I'm not feeling good, like I won't be able to show up and I won't be able to be my best self. So putting my health first is always important to me and a constant I take with me throughout those hard and really great days. So I wanted to share that with you guys because if you can just come back to those two most important, the things that you value the most when you're in that kind of struggle, it can really help get you out of that as well. So those are the two things. But on the topic of health, I want to share with you guys some things I'm doing this month specifically to help myself and in turn help my business. I'm going to be sharing more like personal life things as well as like business things that I'm doing for like long-term peace. That's my ultimate goal. So let's get into it. The first thing that I've been really mindful of doing is reading more. Like I mentioned to you guys, I want to make more time to learn and to grow and to be my best self. And I think one of the best ways to do that is by reading books, whether that's like a memoir or even like a self-help book on things you find interesting, then it's like the best way to learn. And I also love the feeling of like getting lost in a different world. And instead of being on Instagram, it's like being lost in this like imaginative world as you're reading. And I used to love it so much, but with getting busy, it's been so hard to remember to read. So that's been something I've been really prioritizing before bed. And also on like a Sunday, this last Sunday was the best day ever. I literally was making sourdough bread and reading a book, and it was so peaceful. So it's something I'm trying to do more of, because I know that seeing other people's perspectives on the world, learning from other people's experiences is one of the best ways to grow. And I recently just read a book called When Breath Becomes Air. It's a really sad book, but it was so moving, and it really talked a lot about like the meaning of life and like not waiting too long to see that and the values behind your life. So I really recommend that book. It was so good. I will leave a little picture here so if you guys want to check it out. But it was such a good book, and it just got me motivated to read more books in that kind of way and learning from people that just have a really great experience in life. So that is a big one for me. And on the topic of books, I would love to hear what kind of books you guys love. If you want to comment down below, or we can chat about it wherever you want to. Okay, the second thing that I have done this month in particular, and it's been a really, really tough one. If you guys know me, you probably know how hard this has been for me, but it is cutting caffeine. I am a lover of coffee. I love coffee shops. I just love the ritual of coffee. I love the culture. I love everything about coffee, and I just love it. Like, it's a true addiction. Like, I really realized how bad my addiction was, but I didn't cut it for any like weird reason besides the fact that I have struggled with like gut issues for a while now. And I've always thought deep inside, like, okay, maybe it's the coffee, because coffee is really harsh. And I do sometimes feel like I've been able to kind of fix my routine where I have coffee later in the day or like after breakfast, but I still just had this addiction to it. And I also felt like it's not improving my gut health in any way. So I went to the doctor recently, and we did some blood work. I did a lot of blood work actually. And we found out that I have leaky gut, which sounds terrible. It sounds so gross, but I was so relieved to find like some sort of answer to why I feel like I eat the healthiest things and I still sometimes have like the worst bloating and stomach ache. So we got down to the root of it, and basically the first thing on the list was to cut caffeine. And that means no caffeinated teas, nothing caffeinated. So I'm on day 3. I'm actually very surprised I'm able to sit here and talk so like lively, because it's been really rough. And I think yesterday was more of the harder day, because I was just yawning nonstop to the point where I was like, I can't even look at my computer right now. Today I feel pretty good, and I actually got a passion Tango tea thing from Starbucks. It's caffeine free, and that really keeps me going. So that's going to be my new best friend this month. But yeah, I realized that I just love the ritual of drinking a warm drink in the morning. So I have been looking into some alternative options that are caffeine free. And if I like these alternative options, then maybe that can be like my replacement for my at-home drinks. So we'll see, but we're on day 3, and I have been watching so many amazing like YouTube videos and like, you know, people who have like health podcasts talking about the effects of caffeine over a long period of time. And I'm really excited to see like how I feel after that, because I know that it's like not the greatest for you, but I also am not the type of person to be like, we're cutting that out. Like, I know when this 30 days is over, I'm going to add that back in, because it's a part of my lifestyle and I love it, and life's too short. But I do think that I'll be more aware of like how it makes me feel, and also maybe only doing it like every other day, or maybe just on my filming days. So I think there's going to be ways I can work it back in, but I'm excited. I'm filming a vlog for you guys to show you what it's been like throughout these 30 days. And also we did discover that I am slightly anemic, which is interesting because I feel that answered a lot of questions for me as well. So I'm excited. We'll see all the results that come from a caffeine-free month. It's going to be interesting. Okay, so along with the caffeine, my doctor also got me on a supplement routine. And I feel like I've always underestimated the power of supplements. I don't know why. I just feel like there's this little pill and like, how can it really help me on a big scale? But I am definitely a believer. I've been witnessing my fiance on this amazing health plan. He has completely transformed his life. Like, he used to have really bad asthma, really bad allergies, and he has taken care of himself in so many ways, and also started to implement some like helpful supplements. And it's been amazing to see his transformation. So I was like, okay, you're onto something here. I'm totally open to doing it. So I just don't really love taking pills or medicine or anything like that. But I also understand that supplements can be so helpful. So I'm on a new routine of supplements, which involves quite a few things. My vitamin D levels, of course, were super low. And I have actually felt like I've noticed a difference in terms of like my positivity. I've been feeling a little happier. So I don't know if that's the vitamin D, but I am on a really high level of vitamin D. I'm also on an omega. So we'll see if that kind of helps my gut a little bit. And then also I'm on this thing called Hepato. I don't know much about it, but I did ask ChatGPT about it, and they gave me tons of information on like how all the ingredients in the Hepato powder can really help like your gut health. It's mainly like a greens kind of powder, but it also has like glutamine in it and tons of other super powerful ingredients. So I've been on that. And then I've also been on this thing called drainage activator, which sounds terrifying. I was like, what is this going to do to me? But it's basically a like herb type of pill that is going to help reduce all the inflammation that might be going on in my gut. So I'm excited to see if these really help. Like I said, I'm only on day 3. I've been taking vitamin D and magnesium for like a week now. I've been trying to take magnesium for a long time, but it's just a matter of being consistent with it. And I'm really proud of myself because I have been consistent the last 3 days. So we'll see what happens with that. But this supplement routine is pretty easy to maintain. It's really only like 4 pills that I have to take. So it's not too crazy. And we'll see after these 30 days if I feel any better. But that is something I'm also doing this November. Okay, I'm going to take a little break from like the personal health things that I'm doing this month and talk about some business things. And one of the business things I'm doing is simplifying my offerings and my courses. I actually filmed this little vlog clip for you guys that I'm going to share with you. It was in one of those days where I was feeling a little bit down, just like imposter syndrome. I was feeling all the things. And I had a sit down with myself and I just drew out everything on this giant piece of paper that's confusing me. And I really recommend this exercise for anyone that just feels like unaligned with their business or maybe unaligned with their offerings or just confused. I don't know, anything that you might be feeling a little bit of doubts within. Highly recommend just drawing it out. Write out everything confusing you, and then you can do like lines from there and write all the notes on how you can fix that. So one of the things that really confused me, and I'm going to make a whole other video on this, but I feel like I made a mistake because my Megan Weeks Design Co. and Curated Collective Co. They are 2 of the same kind of like, it's a sister business of each other. And I created different branding for each of those. And it was just 2 different identities. And it was so hard for me to keep up with. Like, I just felt kind of unaligned from the Curated Collective Co. branding. I really liked the way it looked and I thought it looked nice, but I just felt unaligned from it. So I recently actually went in and updated the color palettes so that it fits within my brand. And there's some similar colors between the 2 now. And I did a lot of things to just make it flow better. And I actually sat down with myself and made a branding guide with those 2 brands within it. So I'll make a whole video to show you guys this, but just simplifying that in my head has helped so much. So I have been simplifying my offerings and also the design of it, but also my offerings are like all my freebies that I have, all the workflows I have in my email list, and my courses, all those. I'm really trying to find a way to simplify it and also kind of like minimize it a little bit. It's a lot to keep up with in my head because I have over like 15 freebies right now, I think. So I'm really going through and just like making sure I'm selecting the ones that I want to continue with, because some of those old ones are just a little outdated and not the same process that I follow now. So I'm kind of working on simplifying that on my flow desk. So if you guys want to see a video on that, let me know. I'd be happy to show you. But I love doing this every like end of the year, is just like looking at everything I'm offering, figuring out the best ways to improve it or simplify it or just make it more clear. Because if it's confusing me, it's most likely confusing you guys. So I was like, okay, we need to simplify this. And part of that is like maybe combining some courses, updating the lessons and all that. So I've been talking about updating the lessons for a while now, but now that I have a clear vision on like the long-term growth of the courses, I'll be able to do that a little bit better. So that was one thing that I've been doing. And also I'm going to be filming so much the rest of this year. I actually am trying not to take any clients in December because it's going to be a month of just refilming tons of the lessons that I feel are a little bit outdated, or even just adding lessons to the course that just add a new perspective on like how I do things now. So that's something that I'm doing right now. Okay, the other thing that I'm doing, and I actually have a call tomorrow that kicks off this task of mine, but I am talking with the people who I feel I can outsource to. So I have an email list, and we all know how much I preach email lists are so good for your business, but I have a hard time keeping up with that on top of YouTube, on top of Instagram, on top of all the things, TikTok, and it's just a lot. So I've been talking with, or I want to talk with my copywriter about potentially doing like a monthly email for me or even like a weekly one. So I want to talk with her about like the pricing of that and also like how I can fit that into my budget every month, because I'm a big, like I told you guys, I want my business to work kind of for me. I don't want to feel like I'm constantly having to just do everything and anything and have a never ending task list. I want to feel like I can actually focus on the things that really, really matter to me and the things that really need my attention. So that's something that I'd feel comfortable outsourcing. And even if it's just summarizing my YouTube videos or summarizing my podcast episodes, I have so much content that can be turned into that. It's just a matter of doing it. So I'm going to talk to her. Then I also have another call with a Facebook ad specialist. It's been something I've been dabbling with, considering, and this is something I want to do after I simplify my courses. And also I feel like the community is going really well right now, but I want to just make sure I have everything really good and I feel super aligned with it so I can make a bunch of ads to hopefully drive more people to my offerings. I have always been a believer in like organic traffic and like all that, but I also see the power behind ads, and it's really competitive on social media now. So I want to experiment with that and see what kind of success that can bring me. So those are the main outsourced tasks. I also am going to be talking with my sister over Thanksgiving and Christmas to potentially do my engagement for me on social media and help me manage the posting side of things, like especially the Curated Collective Co Instagram. So that's something I'm so excited to kind of take off my back. And she really wants to transition to be like virtual assistant, work from home. And this is like I think it's the best way to transition into that. And she's super excited about it. So that's something that I definitely have on my task list. Okay, back to the things that I'm doing for my personal life and my personal health. And I'm actually going next Tuesday, the 12th, to get eye surgery. And I'm really scared. I never really had surgery before, but I am actually really excited because I've been having this issue in my right eye. You guys have probably noticed it in my videos. It's become a little bit of an insecurity for me, but more so uncomfortable for me. It's called a pterygium. It's like a little bump on my eye, and it can cause tons of dryness. It can just cause like irritation, and eventually it could move closer to the colored part of my eye, which I think is called the cornea. So it's a little bit scary, and I've been going to the eye doctor, and they basically told me that it's probably a good time to do the surgery. So I'm really nervous, but I'm also excited because it's very red sometimes, and I get asked a lot from like friends or family or random people if I'm okay because my eye looks red. So I'm really excited to just feel back to myself and little nervous, but I won't be actually put under. And I think that's the part I'm nervous about because I'll be awake and they basically are just going to give me like mild anesthesia. So I'm still awake, but I won't feel anything. He told me that I'll feel like I had 2 martinis. So I'm like, you know what? I don't mind that. Like, seriously, I don't want to feel a thing. So he said it's no big deal at all. It takes 20 minutes and I should be back to normal within a week, which is amazing. So I'll do a whole video on that too, because I feel like I was looking for videos about this surgery and I couldn't find anything. So I want to make one in case any of you experience this in the future. But I do have that next Tuesday, so it's going to be interesting. And I'm probably going to have an eye patch, so I'm trying to film everything this week so that I can actually like film. But yeah, if you guys know of anyone who's had that surgery or anyone, please let me know, because it's kind of rare. Like, not a lot of people that I talk to have heard about it. I mean, I've heard of a few people that had a successful surgery and the doctor was so comforting. But yeah, I'd love to hear if you guys know of anyone that's had that, because I'm a little scared. It's also called surfer's eye. But yeah, anyway, I'll be a new woman by the end of November and I'm so excited. Okay, the last thing that I also wanted to mention that I've been doing and really paying attention to is my skincare. I feel like the minute I turned 30, I was like, well, even before 30, I've always been like paying attention to like aging gracefully. Like, I don't want to say anti-aging because I embrace the aging. However, I want to take care of my skin and just feel really confident in my skin. So investing in skincare, doing some nice facials and stuff. But this year, and actually this month specifically, I'm getting my first laser facial, which I've never had done before, but it's supposed to help kind of like remove any sort of like discoloration, hyperpigmentation, redness, all that type of stuff. And also my family were prone to like broken capillaries. I don't know if it's like the Canadian side of my family, but I'm also going to be like, it'll help with that too. So I'm really excited because I'm a big believer and like there's so many solutions, but I've always been a big believer in if there's a solution out there for it and it'll make you feel better, why not do it? So I'm excited that I made the investment to just feel my best. And I'm really excited to enter not only into the new year, but I'm excited to kind of like transform myself and my business in a way that I'm able to like just have peace in my life. I feel like peace is exactly my goal, is to just feel like I have time to take care of myself, check in with myself, maybe do those skincare things and like feel really good so that I can show up and not only learn, but educate others. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. And it's kind of random stuff I wanted to share with you guys today, but it's things that I decided to implement this month. I don't know why November is the month of like all these transformations, but I'm very excited about it. And I'm also so excited to learn more about like the Facebook ads and also email lists, being more consistent with that and seeing kind of how that transforms my business. Because I know those two things are probably going to teach me so much. But yeah, I'm so excited to do all these things this November. And also I really wanted to sit down with you guys to remind you that we'll see all these things online and all these things that look so perfect and like the dream life, the dream day. But I promise you, there are so many days in between the good ones that are a little bit of a struggle. But reminding myself to stay grateful, reminding myself of my health and like even how grateful I am for that is what brings me back to just kind of showing up and being able to work through that. So that's been really helpful for me. And I am so excited to see what you guys have in store for the new year. I have a lot of fun content coming between then. I also have a ton of great content this month going up in my Patreon. If you guys are not a part of that yet, or you haven't like upgraded yet to become a member, this is the month to do it, because every single week this month I'm sharing a new Adobe Illustrator tutorial. I've gotten tons of questions on like breaking down like all the things I use in Adobe Illustrator and how to do it. So I'm going down to the basics as well as more advanced tools that I use to make like logos come to life. So if you want access to that, be sure to join. The link is always down below and I would love to get to know you. But that's been one of my favorite things this year by far. But I'm so excited for all the things to come until the new year. And I really hope you guys enjoyed listening to all my little self-care things, business care things, all the things. And if you did, I would appreciate it so much if you gave it a thumbs up and follow my podcast on YouTube or Spotify. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next episode.